Best case, they go like this. Somebody goes, I hear there's a guy, that Jeffrey guy that we met. He's like a shady guy. He's involved with trafficking women and children. This is what they do with the coffee. Ready? Huh.
Today we're going to watch Tim Dillon break down one of the biggest myths people use to dismiss conspiracies. The idea that too many people would have to be in on it, using the Jeffrey Epstein case as the clearest example. This is Tim explaining why silence isn't heroic. It's comfortable. Let's watch.
So here's the other thing. This is the thing about conspiracies. This is the one thing they always say. They go, well, how could so many people keep their mouth shut? There's no way conspiracies could exist because there's so many people. So many people would have to be in on it. That's like the dumb guy thing that everyone says. But so many people, no, yes, so many people can be in it, but people keep their mouth shut about a lot. People keep their mouth shut about a lot. Threaten their money, threaten their food, threaten their family. You don't even have to threaten. It's implied. It's implicit. They know if they open their mouth, they're opening themselves up to liability legally, financially. People shut their mouth. People shut their mouth all the time. How could people, there's so many people who would have to keep quiet about it. And they will. They will. What are we running around with a bunch of heroes in this country? What are you, fucking idiots? We got a bunch of heroes in this country willing to risk it all. I'm going to risk it all to help some woman I don't know. Half of those people they're jealous they can't rape the women. What are you talking about? What, a bunch of heroes? They're going to risk life and limb to help their fellow man? What country do you live in? Fucking get out of here. What country do you live in? Well, so many people would have to be in on it. No. They would gladly be in on it. They would willfully be in on it because they don't want to make their lives any more difficult than they already are. That's why they're not coming to the defense of anything. They don't care. So many people would have to be there. No, there's an enforced code of silence. And you know what enforces it? Threats to people's livelihood, their level of comfort. And we're not talking about poor people that have nothing to lose here. We're talking about people that have a lot of fucking money. They have a position in society that they don't want to lose.
Sometimes silence is enforced with direct threats to someone's money, career, or family. And other times it doesn't even need to be said. The risk is understood. Speaking up means legal trouble, financial ruin, and social exile, especially for people with status. That's why so many stay quiet. And on top of that, these situations are compartmentalized. Only a small group at the top knows the full picture, while everyone else is given a clean narrative, allowing a lot of people to participate without knowing what they're actually part of.
So many people would have to be in it. Why aren't there more heroes in Aspen? Why aren't there more heroes in Aspen on the slopes? Aren't they heroic? Where's all the heroes in Palm Beach? Where are all the heroes? Where's the fucking the spirit that founded the country, the spirit of the people that fought the British? What? Can you imagine? Just think about it for a second. You're in Aspen. You wake up at the lodge. It's snowing outside. You have a cup of coffee, and someone comes up to you and they go, "Did you know that guy Jeffrey Epstein?" You go, "They think he's trafficking women and children." And like, now, half of them, let's be honest, half of their responses, "Oh, I'm like also doing that." And then they go, is there good money in that? You have no idea. You have no idea what a good business it is. That's half of them. Half of them go, "Oh, I'm actually doing that. I'm also doing that." You're doing that. I heard you were doing that. Now that's good business there. "Oh yeah, we put him on. We've got a Sultan who's a billionaire. He does shipping. We throw him in a crate." Interesting. Are you getting the waffle? Do you want to split the waffle? That's half of them. Now the other half would go like this. Okay, so like best case. Worst case, they're also trafficking women and children in Aspen when they say that. That's the worst case. You go, "Oh yeah, I know. I've been to the island. I know exactly what he's doing." Do you want his number? That's worst case. Worst case, they go, "Oh, you need his number? I have his number." Best case, they go like this. Somebody goes, "I hear there's a guy, that Jeffrey guy that we met. He's like a shady guy. He's involved with trafficking women and children." this is what they do with the coffee. Ready? Do it again. You just heard that Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking women and children. You're in Aspen, Colorado. Fresh coat of powder on the hills, on the mountains, fresh coat of powder on the mountains. You're sipping coffee at the lodge. You hear 9 a.m., Jeffrey Epstein trafficking women and children. Somebody tells you, you know that guy Jeffrey we met? He's trafficking women and children. Your response. That's what it was.
Most people live so far removed from consequences that even something as extreme as trafficking gets processed like gossip, not reality. It doesn't trigger action because it doesn't disrupt their day. The ski trip continues, the coffee stays hot, the waffle still gets ordered. It's almost like that old question. If a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, did it make a sound? In these insulated spaces, if something terrible happens, but it doesn't interrupt the ski trip, the coffee, or the vacation, it might as well not exist. The horror doesn't feel real enough to demand action.
That's what it is. What do you think they're going to do? Well, let's call the FBI right now. Let's interrupt our vacation and launch a crusade to destroy this billionaire and ourselves in the process, because we're heroes. Heroes in Aspen. We've got it. We're heroes. Most of these people, their money's like fake. They know it's fake. They know it's fake. They know it's fake. They don't even know how they're that rich, half these people. God forbid this thing starts to boomerang on them. They're all going, God forbid, they start looking at how we have our money. How the fuck do we have our money? So this idea that there's just a bunch of heroes in this country, in Palm Beach or in the Hamptons. They're in the Hamptons, they're eating a lobster roll, and they're sitting there, and the bugs are flying around, and it's humid, and they're eating a lobster roll in the Hamptons in the summer, and somebody comes up to them and goes, that guy Jeffrey, you know, I hear he does weird shit with women and children. And they imagine that at that point, these people spring up out of their seats in their pink polos and their white linens, you know, their white linen shirts and whatever. And they spring up and they go, this can't stand. Let's all bond together to make sure that no woman or child is abused. We are the heroes in the Hamptons. They're Hamptons heroes. And then they get in their Broncos, their old Bronco trucks that they drive around, and their BMW X5s. And they all get in their cars and they go, we're going and we're not gonna stop. No, there's not, and I've only had money for about 5 years, and I've met some of these people, I've been in some of these environments. Number one, normal people probably wouldn't do anything either. But the idea, some of them would. Some people obviously have done it and provably have risked a lot of their professional life to bring things like this to light. There's been journalists that have done it. I've had them on the show. There are people that have done it in real life.
We already know what happens when people speak up. Edward Snowden exposed mass surveillance and was forced into permanent exile. Julian Assange published leaks and spent years confined and imprisoned. Gary Webb reported on CIA drug links and had his career destroyed before dying, broke and isolated. The pattern is always the same. Punishment first, truth later. So when people ask why more don't come forward, this is why.
But like this idea that the most privileged people, the wealthiest people, the people who they themselves don't want you looking into whatever the hell they got going on, the people that are from like multi-generational families, wealthy families that want to be out of the public eye, that are very private by their nature, the idea that they're going to like spring into action if they hear that someone's trafficking women and children, the idea that they're going to like, while they're in St. Lucia, walking on the beach, they're going to spring into action and they're going to go, I'm going to make it my life's mission to uncover the truth. Here's what you'll never hear. Here's what you'll never hear if you're at one of those dinners. We got to get to the truth. We got to get to the truth of this, bunny. Lover, we're getting to the truth. We're not going to keep living this life where we bounce around the globe. We're not living this very, very lovely, kind of coddled life of boats and planes and beaches and ski slopes. We're done with that. We're getting to the truth now. Your marriage would collapse immediately. Your marriage would immediately collapse if you said to your wife or your wife said to you, I'm sick of this shit. The Hamptons, the south of France, the Amalfi Coast. What's it all for? What's it all for? The kids in the best universities, money and houses everywhere, boats and private jets. What the fuck's it for if we can't protect women and children? That's what I want to. You would get divorced.
This part isn't just about cowardice. It's about incompatibility. The kind of moral stand Tim's talking about doesn't fit inside elite life. You don't just lose a friend or a deal, you lose the marriage, the network, the lifestyle itself. Everything these people have is built on not asking certain questions. So the idea that they'd blow up their own world out of principle is fantasy.
And you would get divorced, and the attorney would totally get it. You go, hi, hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob, it's me. Listen, we gotta talk. Suzette has lost it. Bob, the other night, she launches into some tirade. She goes, I don't want to go to the south of France anymore. I want to save women and children. What is this disease? Is it a tumor? Do you think it's a tumor? I told her, we were on our way. We're on a drive up to Montecito. She said, I want to dedicate the rest of our lives to helping women and children. And I said, I think you have a brain tumor. Should we get her an MRI? They would think you had a brain tumor. Truly, if you said, I don't care about this money, I want to get to the truth, anyone in that group would think you have a brain tumor. I know enough of these people and how they act. The young kids are fun. You know, they play with socialism like a board game whilst they sail around the globe. And their parents just request their presents at dinner occasionally, and they all kind of stare at each other and then quietly eat food, and everybody's got something else going on. But the idea that any of these people at any time would say, we're going to jeopardize our entire standing to launch a full court press here against this Jeffrey Epstein who's backed by intelligence. Number one, that shuts the convo down immediately. You just go, yeah, he's in with intelligence. We don't know what he's doing. They're raping the kids, I think, for us, for our safety. Oh, okay. I thought it was something like that. You know, there's nothing that quiets people down. Like the word intelligence just shuts everyone up immediately. As soon as you say this is intelligence or that is intelligence, it scares off local law enforcement. It scares off federal law enforcement. It scares off everybody because it is assumed that whatever is happening needs to happen.
This part lands because we've seen it happen in real life. The moment something gets labeled intelligence or national security, accountability shuts down. We saw it with Epstein. We saw it with mass surveillance. Cops back off, reporters hesitate, and even asking questions starts to feel dangerous. That word doesn't explain anything. It ends the conversation.
That's exactly what intelligence means. It means it's above your head. You wouldn't understand it, but if you did, you would know that it needs to be done. Shut up. And if you inquire about it anymore, you're opening yourself up to a lot of problems here because you're threatening on exposing the sensitive nature of whatever intelligence thing's going on. So all you would have to say to the Palm Beach set, Hamptons, Aspen, whatever, Sea Island, Georgia, Santa Barbara, Napa, anything you would have to say up there, all you would have to say is, if it even got there, you go, oh, he's involved with intelligence. There's something murky going on. But it would never even get there. It would never even get there because if you said you wanted to help children and women, people would think you had a tumor.
And that's really the through line here. Silence isn't mysterious, it's structural. It's enforced through money, status, comfort, and the moment things get labeled intelligence, accountability just shuts off. Not because people don't know, but because knowing comes with a cost most aren't willing to pay. If you found this breakdown interesting, hit like, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with Tim here? Or do you think people would actually speak up if it really came down to it?